This week we will be discussing Chapter 12, Marketing and Maintenance. Marketing involves targeting the game for a particular player market or audience, and then persuading that audience to purchase the game. Usually, marketing responsibilities are handled by the game's publisher. But if you are an independent game development company and you just create your game, then you can find ways to market your game yourself. We're going to talk about the functions and roles associated with marketing, such as advertising, promotion, public relations, and sales, and what the difference is between each of those. And we're going to talk about customer support and community management. So advertising. Advertising is where you focus on reaching the market through paid ads in media outlets such as television, radio, magazines, newspapers, and websites. So you pay to have an ad put into one of these media outlets, and that ad runs, and you hope that people will see it and then buy your game. Promotion. Promotion is part of public relations. Promotion is where you actually go somewhere to promote your game. So you might go to a convention and set up a booth and have giveaways or have, ways for people to try your game. That's all part of promotion. So basically what you're doing is you're promoting your game. Another way you can promote your game is maybe one of the developers goes and does an interview on a radio and talks about the game coming out and what's in the game and what it took to develop the game, what are the exciting things. So you're promoting your game to the public. Public relations focuses also on letting the public know that your game is coming. You might involve news media and magazines also, where you're going out and talking to people, you're relating with the public to try to get the hype up so that more people will buy your game. Sales is a way to also reach your buyers. Obviously, you want to sell the game. So a lot of games are sold online, but they're also sold in stores. And if you sell your game, say at a GameStop or at Target or some store, then what you might do is pay for certain shelf space. So when they have games that are featured games, it doesn't necessarily mean that GameStop people are featuring the game and want you to see it. What it means is that the game developers paid a little more money so that their game would be on that featured shelf. So you want to try to find a way to sell your game. If you're selling it online, you might want to find some websites that will sell your game from there and promote your game in that way. We're going to talk about community management and customer support. We'll hit official websites, tutorials, player forums, newsletters, player matching, social networking, and blogs. So it's really important to have an official website for your game. That's a place where people can come up and get on and get support, find out what's happening, see if you're going to have updates. All the information that you might have about your game would be on your website, including a place to purchase your game. So that's something that I would recommend you would always want to have if you're going to develop a game and try to sell it. Tutorials are part of customer support. We used to have manuals. Sometimes games still come with manuals, but a lot of times the tutorial teaches the player how to play the game, teaches them the rules of the game, what the controls are. So it's great to put a tutorial into your game and try to make that tutorial a good tutorial. so that it gives the player a good idea of what the game is going to be about. Player forums are another way to get to your players, to communicate with them. So people who are part of the forum can focus on different topics about the game. They can pose questions or comments, and then they can answer each other's questions and add to the comments. So it becomes a big discussion board about the game and what's happening with the game. Okay, sometimes the player can sort of become a developer. So there's this word, this thing called prosumerism. A prosumer is when the producer and consumer collide, overlap. Okay, so the word prosumer comes from producer plus consumer. So when they overlap, it would be something like modding. Modding is allowing people to modify or expand on the contents of the game. And that can lengthen the lifespan of the game. It can make it more exciting. Machinima is another kind of outgrowth of modding. Another thing that you can do is you can give the players a level designer. And when they design new levels, they're basically becoming developers. So now you have the players becoming the developers. In other words, the producer and consumer are blending together. Fan-produced content is something else that is a way that the players can become developers. This is more common in, say, Japan, where people will take their favorite games and create fan-produced content. It's a little more complicated here in the United States because we do have so many copyright laws, but fan-produced content could be something like fan fiction. It can be t-shirts. It could be posters. All those things add to players kind of being developers and community support. And then we have fan sites. So a fan site is different than a website that you might have. This is where outside people create a website that allows other people to come on and talk about the game. And the most notorious example of a fan site is from the movie The Blair Witch Project. And the filmmakers actually created the fan site and had people get on. It wasn't really a true story, but it made it look like it was more of a true story. So if you can get your fans to create a fan site completely separate from your own website, it gives you pretty much free advertising. So it's great. It promotes your game and gets more people to buy it, which is the whole goal. Basically, you're doing all this because you want people to buy your game. So that's basically all we have for this chapter, marketing. We talked about marketing. We talked about the difference between advertising, sales, public relations, promotion, and we talked about community management and customer support. We talked about prosumerism, where the player becomes a developer. And always remember that the reason that you're creating a game is so someone else will play it. So you always want to keep your customers in mind and make the community the king. Have a great week. There are more videos for you to watch that are posted, and I hope you enjoy them.